Hello. It's me and Conrad and my little ID. Chillin'. It is February 6th of the year 2020. Wow. See, this year has a leap year, and that's pretty cool because we only get those every 4 years, and we only get that like the Olympics, but we get those every 2 years, but it's like, I feel like I'm kind of avoidant. I feel like I'm kind of like, but I should be like da da da, because after reviewing and watching the videos that I've posted so far over this month, it seems like I started off and I'm like and then like progressively day after day I started to like come down a little bit and like kind of speak more sense instead of nonsense, if there even is such thing. And I woke up this morning, I meditated, then I went to yoga class, and after yoga class, I went up to the top of campus where I sat and I meditated for a while. I was just looking at the scenery, and it was really pretty. Really pretty. I got an email from Domino's Pizza. Cool. Couponmanship. And I had this idea to make a video. Like, as I was leaving class, I had this idea, like, oh, I'm going to make a video where I'm going to talk about these things. And so I was, like, brainstorming ideas, and I was, like, meditating, and I was just, like, thinking about, like, the concepts I was going to discuss. And, like, right before I finished, it almost felt like there was a force overcome me, and I, like, closed my eyes, and it was just this thought that was, like, you don't have to make this video if you don't want to. And I was like, oh, right. I don't have to if I don't want to, because there's like kind of like this like, hold this thought, let me like give me a little thing. Like for like the majority of my life, for as long as I've been cognitive and like aware, I've kind of had this like presence where it feels like there's like a camera watching me. Like I can almost describe it as like YouTube syndrome, where it's like you're always on camera, even if you're like doing your, it's like virtual, not virtual, it's like Jersey Shore shit. What's that, like, not virtual reality, the other type of reality TV. It's kind of like reality TV, like where these people like screaming their tea and shit, and they're all doing their drama shit, but there's still the camera crew. So like even if these people are totally invested in screaming at each other over nonsense, there's still the camera crew, so they're aware of that in some sense. So they might like monitor and like alter their behavior to be on camera. And it's like for me, I feel like I've had that sort of presence to me my whole life in most cases, where like even off camera, even in my most private places where I'm in the shower or like taking in the bathroom and there's no one around, I still have this presence. Like I have to monitor myself because I'm live on camera right now and I can't do anything embarrassing. I can't do anything like controversial or bad because the camera's rolling. And if they catch that, then it's on record forever. And I'm always going to be on record. And it's kind of like this like thing, and it's there. And I feel it oftentimes. And I feel like it holds me back a lot of the time. Not all the time. Sometimes I overcome it. More and more recently over these last years, like I first recognized that. I first like noticed it was there when I was 16, and ever since then I've been like, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. But like still, it's like still there, and I like sometimes like just like forget, and it's kind of just like this omnipresent thing, and it even comes to like recording videos where it's like, even like I'm just hitting the record right now and I'm just active, like I could totally just like delete this afterwards and not post it anywhere, but there's still like that feeling like, oh, it's on camera, so it's gotta like. And that's the interesting about like watching interviews or watching celebrities or just watching famous people, like in general, like any site, like a podcaster all the way to a famous artist to a famous actor. Like anytime like you're on camera, you are going to act slightly different than how you act normally when you're just by yourself making a sandwich in your kitchen at 3 a.m. And so it kind of warps an idea of like what we think of these famous people. It's like, yeah, this person acts like this on camera, but like that's just how they're acting on camera. They could be a completely different person once it stops rolling. Like you don't know what goes on during the commercial break, so to speak. And so it's kind of like that kind of concept where it feels like I'm always on camera. So it's kind of like I'm always acting. And I feel like that's kind of like the root of like my theatrical personality where it's always like, oh, I'm acting, I'm going to put on these different characters because I'm trying to be funny, because I want to entertain people. And so there's this kind of like internal drive inside of me where it's like, I want to entertain people, I want to help people, I want to better people, because I'm always on camera. And if I'm going to be on camera, I don't want to just talk about bullshit. I don't want to gossip about shit. I want to talk about truth, and I want to be funny, because I want to lighten people's moods. I want to bring joy to this world. And whether that's like an insecurity complex or it's a genuine grand consciousness channeling into me that's like, be this person for the universe, like whatever it may be, it's definitely there. And like today while meditating, it was kind of like, oh shit, it doesn't need to be there. I don't need to entertain the world. I don't need to like make these videos. I don't need to like make all these songs. Like my first album, which is on Spotify, iTunes, whatever, if you want to listen to it. I personally don't recommend it because it kind of came out like crap. And let me tell you why it came out like crap. Because I was in this mentality of like, shit, this album is for the world. This album is for other people. This album needs to be super fucking top notch because other people are going to listen to it, and other people think like this. Other people listen to music like this. People are like this. People are like that. People are like this. People are like that. And like all of the creative process, all of like the songs and like production aspect of it, a lot of it was like, okay, even if it sounds good enough for me, it doesn't sound good enough for like me or you, as that's like what the album's called. That's kind of like what the concept of it. It's called For You. And even like you would think you, as in like you, the viewer of this video, it's really for me as you, because it's like this concept I have where it's like, I am Andrew, but like in your head, when you're like, that was fucking sucks, you suck, you're terrible, you did a good job, you're this, 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 you're saying you in the context of describing your sense. So in my album For You, that's the you I'm talking about, is because when I have this camera on me, it's like you. This camera is looking at you. It's not like the camera's looking at me. When I get deep into flow and I completely forget that the camera is even there, that's like more of an accurate representation of me, because I just like go off in another realm. But when I'm like conscious of what I'm doing and it's like, I need to have my posture up, I need to look good, I need to be attractive, I need to be this, and this, then it's kind of like you. The camera is on you. And so I had a train. I was going with that. There was something I was saying with it. I don't remember. And so basically I want to redo how I think about myself, because I feel like a lot of it, this camera, it's like I'm living my life for this camera. I'm making my life choices for this camera. It's like the audience in my brain, that's the camera, the audience says pot smokers are bad, or the audience says veganism is good, or like these extremes where it's just like stick to this one thing all the time because that's what the audience wants. It's like I go and watch interviews and I see successful people be like, I'm super successful. And they talk about their personal life and they say, oh yeah, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I meditate at 6 and I only eat straws because like whatever. It's like, and so it's so like I kind of like internalize that, where it's like, oh, this person is successful because they wake up at 5 a.m. This person's successful because they're vegan. And so it's like, I want to be successful. So I'm trying to emulate these qualities that I see in other people. But the more and more that I go through it, the more and more I experience it, the more I'm realizing, no, these people aren't famous or successful or whatever adjective because of these traits. These traits are correlated but not causated. Like it's not the cause. It's more like my brain keeps flying away. It's because I keep trying to like talk as myself, but then there's this like omnipresent thing that's like, no, you got to stay in line. And that's kind of like, maybe that's just like being insecure because like parental figures or something, where it's like, oh, the parents in the other room. I mean, I'm home alone right now, so it sticks with you even when you're alone. Like I said, I'm in the shower, I'm in like the bathroom. It's like it sticks with you because it's like so ingrained in there. It's like I gotta please the parent figure. I gotta dress for the people at school. It's not like it's like it's like when people are shameful about dressing comfy. Like that's something that's always been weird to me, and like I've started to understand it, but like It's like, I'm sorry, I'm wearing my sweatpants and a hoodie. It's like, it's like, you're doing it for you. You don't need to apologize. I'm you. You don't need to apologize. I don't need to apologize. It's like, it's so I feel like I'm all over the place. I feel like I want to head down this road of spirituality and like develop myself that way through meditation, through yoga, through better diet. And so I wake up at 5 a.m. because I have to go to school, but like I want to wake up at 5 a.m. because I want to wake it up at 5 a.m. I want to be vegan because I want to be vegan. And it's always these extremes like, I need to be vegan right now. I need to wake up at 5 a.m. right now. I need this right now. And then I fail at first, and then I get super hard on myself, and it's too hard, and then I indulge in my bad habits. And so where pot sits on the spectrum of all of that, I don't know, because I noticed that today when I was meditating, is that pot, just the concept or just like the thing itself, just thinking about it makes me uncomfortable. And I don't really know why. Maybe that ties into the whole camera thing. It's like, oh, it's like controversy. It's legal, but it's also bad for you. But it's good. It's bad. It's good. And so it's like, oh, I'm just going to sidestep the whole thing. I don't want to deal with it. And so like I'm like stuck in this thing where it's like, oh, I do it, but I'm in denial about doing it as a way to sidestep it while simultaneously being about it so I can have both sides of the spectrum. And maybe that's just fucking ridiculous. But like, see, that's the thing. I just called that whole concept ridiculous as if there's someone, it's like, what's an example of this? It's like you throw yourself under the bridge because you assume someone else is going to do it. So you do it to yourself to beat them to the punch. Like, it's like you're talking to someone and you're like, sorry, I'm shitty at conversations, or sorry, I'm really awkward. It's because you assume that person thinks you're awkward. So if you apologize for it, then it's like, oh, they'll think, oh, this person's self-aware. I don't need to call them out now. Is that too ridiculous? I don't know. But yeah, I definitely feel like very like I'm on like hot potato mode, where it's like I'm not like chilling. Even though like I did a bunch of yoga and I meditated today and I got down, it still feels like I'm like running away in some sense. And it's kind of like it's fucking cameras on me. And like when like the actor or like the person is tired and isn't in creative like actor mode, like I'm playing guitar, but like I'm not really feeling it. That's the thing. Is I gotta really feel it. I mean, I can play it any time because I have like the muscle memory in my fingers, so I can like do this. But like there's like this sort of like resonance or vibration that comes with it, where like the instrument vibes and then you vibe, and it's kind of just like this like feeling, and you just feel all of it within you, and you just play the chords, and you just intuitively know what chord to go to next. And it like, but right now I'm not feeling it, and maybe that's just because I'm withdrawing through pot. Today's day 6 of me not inhaling any objects or smoke or whatever. That's how I feel. And it feels like I just got to keep going and going and going. I got to go to work at 5. So, yeah, I don't know.